Another study just came out on climate change, and it's absolutely terrifying. Scientists issued dire warning in new study, finding last year was likely the hottest on record. Quote, "It is too late to stop serious global warming," warns scientist. So this study was released in the journal Science. The lead author is Dr. Li-Jing Cheng of the Institute of Atmospheric Physics. Listen to some of these quotes. These are going to fucking blow your mind. One of the warmest spots was where Hurricane Florence developed this past year in the Atlantic, and where Hurricane Harvey developed the previous year in the Gulf. The warm water fuels the evaporation and moisture for storms. So the oceans are heating up massively. Massively. Like since 1991, it's a solid line going upwards, okay? And as a direct result of that, we're having more hurricanes and more powerful hurricanes. And they're describing how where Hurricane Harvey happened and where Florence happened, that's the area where the ocean water is the warmest. If you're not a long-term pessimist at this point, you ain't paying attention. I don't think it's possible to be a long-term optimist at this point, with all the evidence that keeps coming in. Another quote that really sent chills down my spine. "It is too late to stop ocean warming in this century because ocean response is so slow." So there's not even any fix. Even if we went to zero emissions tomorrow, which is not possible, but even if we did that, it's too late to stop ocean warming this century because the ocean response is so slow. Quote, "While there still is time to do something to slow this process down, it is too late to stop serious global warming. We are also seeing the impacts from superstorm, hurricanes, and typhoons to drought and deadly wildfires. We are paying the consequences for ignoring the science for decades. What a terrible legacy the denialists have left for us and our children." That's what one of the scientists said. One of the scientists said that. That's not, a left-wing commentator pontificating. That's the scientist. "We are paying the consequences for ignoring the science for decades. What a terrible legacy the denialists have left for us and our children." Oh, man. You want to talk about the necessity of a Green New Deal? You want to talk about the necessity about getting off of fossil fuels? We had to do it the day before yesterday. The year before yesteryear is when we had to do it. And we haven't done it. And we're going to pay the price. We are paying the price. Increased drought, increased famine, superstorms, extremes in terms of both ends of the spectrum when it comes to weather, the trend for climate going upwards, the oceans now steadily warming. The other issue, which is a big issue, is the permafrost. What happens when the permafrost is released into the atmosphere, which is like a super greenhouse gas. Oh, man. Long-term pessimist. That's what I've become. Somebody made a point that the rich will just build bunkers underground and create civilizations that are underground. Maybe. I don't know. But we got to do something, and we got to do it immediately. We should totally get off of fossil fuels, and also I hope scientists are working on some giant vacuum to get the greenhouse gases out of the air. A CO2 vacuum. They were seriously floating the idea of blocking out the sun to prevent climate change. They were seriously floating that idea because that's what happens whenever there's a volcanic eruption and the sun is blocked out, the temperature drops massively. Yeah, but it seems like that might have some long-term consequences if we block out the sun. We're all so fucked.